There it goes. It's fighting me today a little bit. Rumble is rumbling, so I guess I need to put a longer intro music so it gives Rumble more time to wake up.
Ah,
Because it's complete. The whole intro was gone and done with a whole minute, and it still hadn't loaded up. And I was like, I'll be starting. And then it, once I hit the play again, it started doing it right. I don't know. So I guess I'm going to have to extend that intro out a little longer. So welcome, everybody, back to Beyond the Paranormal. Uh, Beyond the Possible. Let me get the right name here. Beyond the Possible. With me and Mr. James of Salsido Paranormal. He's come back to join us on our second show here. Very, very thankful for that. And it's going to be some new stories. I know some story. I guess a couple stories I've never told before because I didn't know them. But it's happened in the family. So, what's up, Sweets? We got Sweets in the chat. We got Ray, a Radical Truth, in the chat. And we got our lurkers. Well, we appreciate our lurkers as always. Much love to the lurkers. We're going to have some fun ones for sure tonight. And it's almost a new year, James. 2026 will be here.
yeah,
Blink
that's
of an eye.
amazing. That is amazing. I remember the beginning of this month. I was thinking, man, that last couple weeks is gonna be so busy. It's. I don't even know if I'm gonna have time to do much of anything else. And now we're already past Christmas Day itself, and heading on to New Year's and everything. So yeah, yep. But looking forward to New Year. I have some couple new little things, little limited series planned for my podcast and a new blog post series. So trying to do some get some more things going for my own stuff, and so yeah, I always look forward to a new year to try to get more done, get more out there.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Like, yeah, that's my goal. I'm gonna keep expanding and doing more stuff as I can with time constraints and all that,
Yeah,
and life constraints. But with hopefully continue to do this every Sunday and then every Wednesday. This week, probably gonna go live Tuesday for talking with conspiracy, just because of Wednesday night being New Year's and some people like to go out, some people don't. You know, I have no idea what I'm doing. I haven't been told yet. Haven't figured that one out yet. So we go from we go from there. I know someday, some New Year's, I've I've been some boring New Year's coming in. Um, Sit there playing Black Ops with my buddies on PlayStation. I've done that to actually going out to the clubs or whatever.
yeah. I'm usually at home for New Year's, so I mean, funny enough, it falls on a Wednesday, so I'll be recording a couple of my shows that night, and that's about all I have planned for that night. Just that, and who knows, maybe a voice chat conversation in Discord or something.
That'd
We'll
be good.
see.
Yeah, it'd be good bring in the new year, like it in the last year, the how you want the rest of the year to go. This recording, having fun, and telling stories, and uh,
Yeah.
this might do right.
Also, hello to everyone there in chat. I can't watch while I'm doing these shows, so I'm not gonna be able to see you all talking. But thank you all for being here, and for to Ricky for having me here again as well.
For sure, for sure. Yeah. And right now, it looks like we got Sweets. She said she'll be at work in New York. I won't say New York. New Year's Eve.
Ah, yeah,
uh, I've been there doing that too, a bunch of years, especially when I worked grocery stores and stuff.
oh
I
yeah,
brought in a bunch of New Year's, and I remember I need I had to get Derek. I need to get I do I meant to do that earlier. I meant to reach out to Derek. I wanted to um, talk to Derek about coming on, and then the Night Stalker, and give him
that,
a platform that he's got no time constraints. Like he can let her, his only time constraint is him.
Yeah, he is
I know he
amazing.
always worries about that. But I only got only got 20 minutes. For troubled minds, you got the the radio time
Yep.
or whatever. I want to give him. I want to give him opportunities. Just let her open up and let her rip. I don't care how many. If he goes 5 hours of him just talking, I'll just get out of the way and sit back and drink my Kool Aid and be on my way. So we'll
Yeah,
do.
yeah, he's amazing. I've had him on several of my earlier shows, and he's always amazing. So, and I hear he was on another show recently.
Yeah, he was
That
on the
was also
Radical Truth. Yeah, he was
yeah,
on the Radical Truth there on
it's good.
Spotify. It was really good.
Yep, yep. As
Yeah,
always.
I wanna. There, speak of Radical Truth. There's Ray is back. She is here. So yeah, I want to get him on and let him give him a spot to let him rip and just
Yep.
nothing, no time constraints, no whatever. Like so, I meant to message him. I meant to do that earlier today. I meant to do it yesterday. I was like, just just one of them things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you think about good ideas and then poof,
Well, it's the
like they're
thing.
good, and
When
then it was just
when you're
trying to.
doing yeah, when you're doing a show, you're always trying to think of stuff, and then the hard part is actually sometimes remembering it again to get it done. It's just because you're always thinking about stuff for the shows. That's for sure.
No, yeah. And like I said, it's I'm trying to get some more. I got people lined up for sure. Um, what what day was it? I got a Bigfoot expert coming. I got that's on that'll be actually a Wednesday night show. Actually, the
Ah,
Bigfoot expert. So we'll turn into a more. It's conspiracy, so a conspiracy all the way around. So we'll have a Bigfoot show coming up. We got um, Scott Helmer coming. Like I said, next Sunday, Ray's gonna be on here, and we'll figure out whatever we talk about. We'll figure some stuff out for sure. Like,
oh yeah,
uh, what we talked about earlier was more Bigfoot and less Trump. So it's gonna be. Thank you, Sweets, for dropping the link. Uh, that's a good show. If y'all are on the Rumble, I'm sure she's gonna drop it in YouTube too. So check out the link there. Um, it's gonna be fun. It's I got like I said, I got several people lined up. I got another guy that's got a paranormal show. Um, he's supposed to get back with me after the first year, and then we'll have him on some Sunday. So that'd be. I was thinking that'd be cool, to have you and him on, and then possibly maybe get him on your show, and
yeah,
vice versa, kind of deal. So um, just trying to make stuff happen, and it's been a very great outreach of people coming out, want to come on the show, and just want to keep on building and growing, and having fun. That's the number one thing. Number one.
oh yeah, yep,
If we're not having fun, there's no point in it. That's
yeah, yeah. That's speaking of fun and paranormal and power and energy and power outages. I was thinking about something today.
uh-huh.
We were talking before the show because we both recently experienced a temporary power outage, which is pretty amazing because we're not in the same state.
Mm-hmm.
But I was wondering if you ever noticed, because I've noticed this, whenever the power goes out in my area, um, I feel like once it's off, I can pick up on the energy, like that's with all around us, like just out there everywhere, better. Like it's a weird thing when all there's nothing left going through all the wires and through all the buildings around us and the street lights are off and like the last several times over the years I've had power outages, I've noticed like there's a feeling And part of it is that silence that's there when there's no, there's nothing running. I mean, except for vehicles that they're coming or going. But when it's at night, a lot of times there are none. And I've noticed it's not that I'm picking up on presences. I don't feel like I'm like all of a sudden picking up on ghosts. That's not necessarily what I mean. It's more of just a different kind of energy, like a more I don't know if it's more natural or not, or if it's just energy from all the people around that I'm picking up on when there's no power on around me.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, and I think part of it is like the EMF
Yeah.
levels are so down, like gone. There's no electronic magnetic field because all the power's out. Um, I know, like out here, it wasn't nothing. It was pitch black, dark everywhere.
Right.
I was like, man, did I pay my light bill? What in the world happened? And I popped out and I went out, looked outside, and of course everything was dark all the way down the street. And I'm like, and it's cloudy, so I was like, well, it's dark. Yep. Darn.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could see that. You could, it's on one side. I think it maybe gets your senses up a little bit too because you're so used to having that outside noise and light energy and everything else out there, and then all of a sudden it's gone. It's like, well, what else is that? You can pick up all the kind of stuff. Like it's like when you go out in the nature. You go out way out there in the country and stuff, and all of a sudden you
Yeah.
start hearing all kinds of the crickets and the frogs hop, and you hear every little. If a limb falls, you can hear it. Or a leaf falls. Sometimes it hits a little. You hear it. It's like, what was that? What was that?
Yep.
You freak yourself out because there's just so much. The sound noise and sound is all that pollution's gone. It's just pure nature, and
Yep.
um, so I can see that, for sure. Because and then you might be able to see more. Though
It's a
they
double
say,
edged.
they has to, paranormal has to use energy to.
That's the thing. It's
Now I
it's
wondered on that though. It's if it don't have that, you know, energy and run
yeah.
around, will you still? Though we've heard stories, I know you have. Abandoned houses with no power or nothing in it, and there's still um, bumps in the night for sure going on in them.
Yeah. It's not as simple as, oh, no power means no paranormal activity, or no power means more paranormal activity. It's not that simple, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but there is, I don't know. I guess it's just a subtle difference between. Oh wow, that was my computer. I don't know why I did that. But between just made a loud noise. Between when there's power running all around you through wires. I gotta figure out how to turn that thing off when it happens. Anyway, and then when there's not power running all around you through wires and all that. I guess it's just a different thing and a
Mm-hmm.
different kind of energy. I guess is what it is.
Well, I mean, there's energy in the sky, and there's energy, there's different levels of energy, so it could be using any of that. Um, and I was say I can't hear if it's got like a fan or
Oh,
something
okay,
going, James. I can't hear it, so you're good.
okay.
Uh, yeah, you're good. Probably if it's a PC fan or something popped on, it's just you're
Oh
good.
no, it was a notification sound on my PC, like the one
Oh,
of those
ding. Yeah.
Windows, lovely Windows sounds that does not care what you're doing.
Oh yeah.
Eh, so, but yeah, so
No, I didn't hear it
yeah,
though. That's good.
good.
Uh, Speaking of power and everything, I was on me paranormal and power. I was on play this quick video. I thought it was funny. It says my daughter is upstairs playing Ouija with her friends, and dad is a jerk. He's better than me though. Like we said beforehand, I wouldn't have had the thing. Uh, I would not have the um, Ouija board in the house. So
No. And like I said before, I can't remember if I said on the show or not, but there is something to that. Those things. I mean, even if there wasn't years ago, it's so common now that I think other beings, other consciousness know about it as well, and they sort of, if they feel one around or they sense one, because I had an experience once where I walked into a store. It's like a novelty, hobbies, just whatever kind of odds and ends kind of entertainment store, and a small one in the town where I live. And I walked through the back door and into the store, and I was just getting there like a snack or something I was gonna get, and I got this weird feeling like a presence or like energy or just a weird feeling from next to me, and I walked past it and it went away, and I thought that's weird. Why was I feeling like there was something paranormal nearby? And so I backed up and turned and looked towards where I got the feeling from, and there was a stack of like 3 or 4 Ouija board boxes, like the
hmm.
whole box and everything, on a shelf. Now I don't know if those were used. They were in the box, but I didn't inspect the box to see if they were, still sealed or whatever. But so there's a couple possibilities there. Either they were sealed, and again, entities consciousness is already aware of that whole phenomenon of people using them and drawing things in, or they were used already and then resold, and there was stuff attached to them because of the people using them before.
Hmm.
And there was no, I didn't see it when I walked by it the first time, so it's not even like I could say it was a power of suggestion where I was freaking myself out. No, I had no idea they were there. So there's something to that.
No, I believe so for sure. Absolutely. There's some kind of mess there. Absolutely. Um, I wanted to play this video real quick. It says when you buy furniture from IKEA.
I think this one fits. It's not the way it looks in the instructions, Harold.
It's for you, James. They're trying to build a medieval catapult
Oh, okay.
at IKEA. So give you kind of an idea of what's going on in the picture wise. Like yeah, they got IKEA directions of trying to build that catapult, and so yeah, it's
I think that's part B2. Where's A5? This is ridiculous. Where are the words? Not your left, my left.
What's your left then?
It's like they want you to fail.
Alan, what's this?
Can I go over the middle? You try turning it clockwise?
I've never seen a clock, mate. I don't know what you're talking about.
Ah!
he turned it upside down. The catapult part.
All right. Let's give it a go then.
And it didn't work. All that work
good.
and it didn't work.
That's sort of like the paranormal. You think, oh, I got this one thing figured out, and makes sense with all that, and then you find something that doesn't make sense. Like, oh, man, thought I had some things kind of figured out here. No, all right, nope, never mind.
For sure, for sure. Uh, James, you want to start our night off with a? You said you had some new stories for everybody tonight, so I figured let you start off if you want to.
Yeah. So I don't know, about a week ago. This happened a couple of different nights. So I've been hearing a just one tap on my blinds in next to the front door of my apartment lately, on like once in a while. But I've heard that earlier, the beginning of this week, couple of nights, and but then I heard, and this was in the front, and I'm in the back of the apartment, which is not far at all. It's a one-bedroom uh, apartment, living room, dining room combined kind of thing, and I was hearing almost like clothes, like someone was moving around, and their clothes were shifting, like fabric moving. which I don't have any curtains hung up in that window, and there's no one else here. But it was just loud enough to pick that up, but there was no loud footsteps. But it was just that, and then the sound of someone just tapping the blinds like once in a while. And I've been getting that same kind of sound in the back of my apartment on the vertical blinds, not to where they move, which is what they used to do. One would just randomly move, but to the point where I can hear it, and it's like if someone is tapping on the very top of the blinds of the frame, which is it's up there in the it's near the top of the window, this door wall that I have. So like it's a good, I don't know, I can barely reach it. I'm 5'2", so it's like good 5.5 feet up in the air, maybe more. And sometimes I know it's that sound because when my cat Logan goes to look outside, I'll hear that sound, but then I'll look over and I'll see her, the blinds parted so that she's standing between them. But I'll hear that same sound, and I'll look, and there won't be a Logan there, and the blinds will be still. So have had that activity lately here and there around my place over the last week or so, and it's funny because Logan's at the window right now looking outside. But and I just heard that sound again, which is why I checked. But yeah, so that's been weird. I had one other thing recently with my dad and my stepmom's house. Sometimes for holidays, I will go and stay overnight one night because whenever I go anywhere, my family has to come and get me and bring me home. So to make it easier on them, I'll stay a night here and there. And the last I was there just 2 nights ago and stayed overnight. And apparently that night they have a cat as well. Her name is Una, I think it is. And but this cat, normally it doesn't mind their bedroom door being closed. But apparently at like 5 o'clock in the morning, it started pawing at the door, and it woke my stepmom up. And she followed it out, and it went towards the hallway that led to the room I was staying in, and then it went and looked downstairs, and then it went back and looked at that hallway again, and it was just going back and forth and looking at her, and she was just wondering what is going on here. And apparently this is the second time where she was active while I was there at night, and like not just active like moving around, but like almost like she was pointing at something or someone to my stepmom. And so I don't know if I'm not sure what's going on with that. If like I bring, my stepmom was kind of joking, half joking, and she said, I think you got some people following you around when you come over here. And so I don't know. And then I was thinking today, what if it wasn't people? What if it was just Logan, astral projecting out of body experience kind of thing? Because I didn't feel anything, um, didn't sense anything while I was there. But now I have sensed things before when I was there. Just a general presence, like sense of a presence there at night when everyone else is asleep. Nothing that I could like say who it is or if it's a person or not. But and I wasn't getting that early that night I was there. But then again, I was so tired that who knows? I might have just not picked up on it. But yeah, I'm not sure if it is Logan or if it's presences that are already there in the house that are just more active when I'm there, and the cat's picking up on that, or what's going on. But this has happened like twice now. The last couple times I've been there, and I was joking with my stepmom. I told her, maybe when I stay overnight, you'll have to leave your bedroom door open because that's twice now. Your cat's tried to wake you up while I'm here, and try to get in your room while I was here when you had the door closed. So I'm not sure. I'll have to I'm not sure when I'll go over and stay overnight there again. It might not be until Thanksgiving of next year or whatever, because I only do that for like holidays. But yeah, if anything else ever happens, I will have to let you know. And they have had other things happen in the house I can go into as well. But yeah, it's just really weird. I'm not sure what to make of all that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just the variable things it could be. It could be. Um, Let me do a real quick. Mr. Mission Control is in the house on the YouTube, and we got a hiker emoji on the Rumble. What's up? What's up? But yeah, it could be so many variable things. It could be. You know, um, it's kind of like we talked about last time. The the Sixth Sense movie. You know, the boy could see. I could see dead people. They
Yeah.
turn around and they can sense. Hey, you're sensitive, so we can come out and say hi because we know you see.
Yeah.
You know we're here, kind of thing. And so maybe it could be a possibility that it could be, yeah. I mean, if some that astral projecting, and if we can do it, I want to, we have such a strong connection to our animals and stuff like that, and like they'll. I got a story to tell on the animal too. Is it, even beyond the grave is still trying to protect. It's one of them things that it could. I mean, as as the shows go, he says anything is possible for sure. Um, and it could be a combination of things.
Yeah.
But
And that
yeah,
place.
it could be for sure. For
Yeah.
sure, the sensitivity part. I I could see that for sure. Like I said, it could be a combination of all of it. It could be there's just sensitivity. There's something there. It's trying to say hi.
Yeah.
Um, have you have you ever tried? Which I know you're not supposed to. You're not supposed to do it at home, I guess. But it's not your. You know. You're only there a few times a year, so. Have you ever tried like recording or something like that, like through the night, and then woke up next day and listen, and
No, 'cause it's also my dad's house, my dad and stepmom's house.
so you don't want
I
to.
don't want. And my stepmom is already fairly sensitive as it is, so I don't want to make things because we were talking about because we almost always do when I go over there. She was saying she doesn't feel like her house is haunted, but she's had they've had some experiences there, and I had one for sure with them, and
Yeah.
so she's they've heard footsteps when there's nobody else around. Um, they had they had activity increase once when my dad brought home a old cookbook that was going to be thrown away, and they had like more than usual footsteps, sounds, other sounds, and my stepmom like traced it to when it all started when my dad brought this cookbook home, and so they had to get rid of it, like they had to throw it out, and after that everything calmed down. So there was something attached to that cookbook as
Mm.
well, but even without that, they've had things there, and like I said, I've noticed at night once everyone is asleep in that house, if when I get up to go use the bathroom, it's like there's someone in the living room that's like, oh hey, there's someone around, and I'm like, oh hey, there's someone in the living room, you know, and
Yeah.
it's nothing that happens, like it's just I'm picking up on I don't know some kind of consciousness that's there, but only it's only when there's no one else around. And that's not the first place I've had that happen with, and it's not that it happens in every place either that I've ever stayed in. But a few places, yeah, it's like once everyone is asleep or in bed or whatever, and the spaces of the house that are not occupied get filled up by someone. Some people makes me wonder because I've heard about this idea of when people have like one experience in a home or a building, is it because there's just someone passing through and they just need like a place to stay for like a night, you know, um,
Mm.
or they know that that space is going to be open at night, so they'll leave during the day and then come back at night. I really wonder how much of that is does happen with places, especially where there's it's big enough where you can do that. You can have um, people, let's say whether they're physical or not, people away, but then once everyone else goes to their beds, well, there's still living rooms, there's still dining rooms that are unoccupied, and I wonder how
Mm.
often that happens as well.
Yeah, you're not on their, they're on their own time schedule,
Yep.
whatever. Um, I had Mission Control wanted asked if you had ever tried to communicate with anything over at your dad's.
No, no, I generally don't try to communicate again because I've heard enough accounts of how that there you never know how that's going to turn out. And I mean, I imagine in most cases it'll probably be okay, but in the rare case, I mean, if something goes bad, well, there's your, it's it could stir up all kinds of activity. You could get the attention of someone or some being that it does not have the have good intentions. So no, I don't normally try to communicate or get more things to happen just because of that possibility. It's like in it, I don't. Most people will not go into a place that's full of people and just start like, hey, how you doing, everybody? Just like because you never know whose attention you're gonna get. Sure,
Right.
most of the people in the crowd may be just fine, but then you might get that one person who is, serial killer or whatever. So
Hmm.
yeah,
I understand that. He made the comment and said that they just want acknowledgement usually, but
right.
yeah, let them know like, hey, I'm still here.
Yep.
You know, I agree with you there. But yeah, I do agree with you too, James. It's kind of like um, you never know what it's like doing seances and being around that possible portals and all that kind of stuff. Man, I'm not messing with none of that because you never know what you're gonna pull in. You never know what you're gonna take home with you,
Yeah.
um, and not trying to do any of that. What's up, Quantum?
Now I have before, like when something happens, I will kind of I'll say, what, that was interesting, and I never really like say hi out loud, but I just put out good energy, like that's okay, this nothing
Mm-hmm.
happened, nothing bad happened here, so I'm fine with this. And so I guess I kind of, it's a type of acknowledgement, but it's not. I try not to take it too far or to get anything else to happen. Is how I go about it. Mainly, I just try to watch when things happen and catalog them and go with that.
Mm-hmm. We got Puff Puff up in the Rumble. Is here now. Quantum chemist. Slowly but surely, Jane. We're getting our chat filled up all the way.
It's
Gonna be
always
just like
nice when
last
everyone.
time. Everybody gets here, and
Yeah.
next thing we know, it's 5 hours later.
No, we talked about that before the show tonight. It's like I'm like I told Ricky before, like I'm sorry, but I can't do a 5 hour show this time. But yeah, that was fun last time. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, we had to start the show off the new first show off with a bang, and
Oh yeah.
it's kind of one of them things. So yeah, because I mean the goal is for the ones that that don't know and haven't heard, like the goal is like for I like talking this stuff. Lucy Wednesday's been turned into leaning more political, and give a chance, like especially with Trouble Minds not on it. He's not doing a show right now, but once he starts doing a show, I want to be able to cut off and go straight to his show.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I start 7:30 Central Time, and then he starts like 9:30 Central Time, and then poop, and then I hit the raid button on the Rumble, and then tell everybody on the YouTube, hey, go over there, and we'll drop links, and we'll head straight to Trouble Minds and keep on keeping on. So that's the goal.
Yeah.
Um,
No, that
yes,
sounds
sir. Happy
perfect.
New Year's, Mission Control.
Yep.
Yeah, we got. Yeah, you like I said, you never know what you're gonna get a hold of and what's gonna attach. I'm cautious on any of that stuff, and I'm cautious on we talked about it last time. Like when I go around to thrift stores or anything like that. and especially when I think thrift stores and antique stores has a point, but but if you go to estate sales where you're actually in the house where the item was, and like all of its
Oh
essence
yeah.
are right there, and like you can really see and feel pick up if uh, that kind of energy, or if it's got something kind of you want to take home with you. As a new you go bring home a new friend or not. So you do have to be cautious what you get and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. I have for there was a brief time where when my my dad stored a couple of extra bookshelves here in my apartment for a bit, and of course he's the kind that like he's had maybe 2 or 3 experiences ever. He's not very sensitive to all this stuff, but there was something attached to one of those bookshelves that would just like come by every once in a while, and there would always be from the one direction of this one bookshelf. And I was glad when he finally came and got it and took those out of here, because it wasn't negative, but it was just like, oh, there's someone else here now, okay. And I always get drawn toward that one bookshelf. Um, so yeah, that's I think spots and places can get that kind of attachment as well, just like one spot, because I've noticed there's a house that my the house that my dad and my former stepmom used to live in, which had all kinds of activity. But one of the things I noticed there is whenever I'd be sitting in the living room or dining room areas, like a combined living room dining room, uh, my eyes would always be drawn towards the middle, like the exact middle of the stairs leading up to the second floor. And I never saw anything there, but most of the time when I would just like my eyes would be drawn to that place, like there was someone there, and or I'm not sure if it's a someone or if it's just an energy field, because I have that same reaction with my bedroom that we talked about last time, my storage room, that my big closet that I keep a lot of things in, that wall, whether I'm inside or outside, my eyes are always drawn to it if I'm close enough to where I can look at it. And I don't know what it is about it, but there's some kind of energy there that's doing that, as far as I can tell.
No, I bet. I'm sure. I'm sure. Speaking of bookcases stuff, I wish you could see this, James, but I'll describe it when I play it. I got a video for everybody. Let me, uh, Mr. Infinite Finality. Appreciate you admiring the collection on the wall there. Yes, it's been fun collecting all this and still growing. Guess I'm collecting boomerangs now. I got 2 boomerangs on the wall too, so I guess I'm collecting boomerangs now too. So um, only antique, legit. If I can find them, if I find a good deal on one, I'll pick it up. And
Hmm.
Miss Karen Carpenter of Knights of the Storms, she is in the chat. It's gonna be. But yeah, this video here, this lady is building a library in her home, floor to ceiling bookshelves,
Mm.
and but they're like set up like a library. So there's
It is. It's all built up. This is what it's gonna look like.
So how many you got? There's a half.
Yeah. So there's the half. You got the double,
2.
double, and then we took the mini over there, and another half.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 doubles and a mini. Let's see what's up with the mini.
So I actually have books that are this wide. And I think today I'm gonna order the super secret one.
Okay, what? Super
The
secret book?
super secret one with the coins.
The book?
Yeah.
Oh, I know what
Here
you're talking
too.
about. Yeah, silver coins on top of it.
Yeah.
That's nice. So if you have big books, we have only one shelf like this.
They can't smell through the video,
Yes.
but they did something in here.
We have painters out here,
This
yes.
is what what they're gonna do. It's called
This is used to be my table. She keeping it now.
dark walnut
That's a color.
stain. What if I just dumped it all over
No,
myself?
don't.
Die.
That's cool.
And then I'm here to measure the windows.
Oh yeah, we need to cover up the curtains for the antique books.
We're gonna put like tapestry hangings. There's a tons of them on eBay. They have medieval, and they have like stuff from France, and they have knights and flowers. So it's like carpet kind of, and it hangs on the window.
Mm-hmm.
So we have that in our daughter's room. We have a really cool one with like swans.
That was like $30 at yard sale.
Yeah, dude, it's all used stuff. Sell me your grandpa's stuff. This is what I want. We're gonna get some statue heads and all the cool stuff. So I gotta
measure. Go ahead.
I'm not tall enough. You do it.
Yeah, it's crazy. It looks like it's 9 foot high. The ceilings look tall.
Wow.
And looking at it's got to be 15, 20 feet across, deep, in bookcases, and 9 foot tall. I bet that's, well, let's see. I bet that's a foot between each one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's got to be more than a foot. That's got to be higher than 7 because she's coming up to 1, 2, 3 of them. So yeah, it's like 8 foot something, 9 foot tall or something. It's crazy. So, but yeah, I seen that earlier. You talk about bookcases and stuff. I was like, man, I got a cool video I shared on my Tweeter earlier. So it'd be a good one to show on everybody.
I'm wondering about those. Like, is she gonna get like original tapestries, or because talk about attachments?
Yeah, really. I was just thinking that too. You know, like she's talking about sell old stuff. So yeah, she's gonna go get antique tapestries to put up. Yeah, it's sure. She might get something she don't want brought in there for sure.
Wow.
My mom would have she'd be in heaven. She'd have it all alphabetical ordered, and she'd have a card catalog and everything. She'd do the whole. She was a librarian for over 20 years, so she would have it all.
If I could still read physical books, I'd have the same. I would have the same issue. I'd be needing some of those bookshelves back from my family. Like, I'd be like, do you have those extra bookshelves still? Because yeah, I'd still be reading all those books in that way. Yep.
Yeah, I've been trying to still buy hard books, because because if you do like if you get Kindle and stuff like that, that's cool and all. But if you just remember this thing, if you decide like, man, I don't want Amazon no more, and you delete your Amazon account, you just deleted all your library. It's gone.
Yeah.
And then you can't get it back.
Yep.
And
I do miss physical. I mean, I still have all my physical books. I'm gonna be donating them to the library at some point because I can't use them anymore. But yeah. Yep.
Well, yeah. So just physical copies of stuff, for future. They never. Yeah, and they can like Sweet just said, they can actually change them in the digital form. They can change them and adjust them as they want.
Yep.
We've seen that happen.
Pirates can easily get a hold of digital books and all that stuff.
Yeah, so it's it has its place, but if you can I kind of like them. They used to have them DVD sets and stuff like that. You could buy it come with a digital copy, so you could have both. You'd have a physical copy and a digital copy, and
right.
I used to like those. I'd have both on them. Speaking of bookcases, I gotta get me some bookcases where I can put all my DVDs up and
there you go,
and get all them back out, and at least out where I can see them if I want to.
Yeah. Yep.
It happens, Mission Control. Some people some people don't want help. They act like they do, or just everybody has their demon.
Oh yeah. So did I tell you about the ceiling, the light in the ceiling fan at my dad and stepmom's house? I can't remember.
Um, I don't think so. But go ahead. Later.
So about 6, 7 years ago now, I I had done my first, just a small part of a, like a one call in for like a podcast that I did an appearance on a show, and once it came out, I wanted to play it for my dad and my stepmom, and went over there to visit and stayed overnight, and I had a different laptop at the time, and I downloaded 2 episodes of this one show, the one I was on, and a separate one, just so they could get an idea of the format and everything, because it was like there'd be like 3 or 4 or 5 stories per show. Each story was like a phone call kind of thing, and so they have this ceiling fan and a light in it above us, and as soon as my voice started coming out of that laptop, the light in the ceiling fan turned on, which I thought was kind of weird because I hadn't heard my dad or my stepmom move, and when I looked up, they were both still sitting there, and they were both staring at the light like they were surprised. And it turns out that light was broken. Ever since my stepmom had got the house years earlier, she was never able to get that light to turn on. The fan
Hmm.
would always work just fine, but she could never get the light to work. And this was not too long after my grandma had passed away on my dad's side, and so during, my dad and stepmom were listening to this call from me, and this light turns on as soon as my voice comes out of the laptop, and we waited until it was all done, and they told me, that they couldn't get it to work. Not only that, not that they would, but they could not have faked it. That light did not have a remote like some do now. Um,
Mm-hmm.
they never got up out of their chairs. Their chairs were not close enough to the wall with a light switch on it to even touch the light switch. Um, so they're not special effects experts. So yeah, it was on, and eventually it turned off, and then after that, it worked for a couple of years. Like they could actually turn it on and off, but then eventually it stopped working again. But we all kind of, especially my dad and I, kind of felt like it was my grandma, and we thought she was just saying hi at the time. But now I wonder, was that her telling me, "Hey, you need to do more of this. You need to, talk about these things like regularly," and basically, even though I don't know if she knew the word yet at the time when she passed away, she may not have, but basically saying you need to do a talk show, you need to do a podcast, because a couple of years later, that's what I started, and it wasn't exactly because of that directly, but looking back on it now, I do wonder if that was her, and giving me a signal like, hey, do that, do more of that.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Well, if
yeah.
something happens and I stop talking for a little while, I don't know. My lights are blinking just a little bit there, so I don't know what's going on.
Uh
This
oh.
mic keeps falling down, but uh, yeah, I don't know what I, s- I seen it in the I seen it in the video. Even I seen the blink,
Huh.
so I was like, huh, I don't know. So, but yeah, um, let's say that I'm sorry to hear that, Mr. Control. I can't imagine seeing that right before Christmas, and yeah, it was carrying. Yeah, I, talking about Kindle fires, book burning. I wonder, that was part of the, subtle hinting, for it. You could, and the whole point of the naming of it, maybe, especially coming from Bezos. it wouldn't surprise me none.
Mm, yeah.
Would not surprise me none. But I know you can. I know you can lose everything, real easy. My mom did. She lost all her stuff. She had a whole bunch of stuff on her Kindle and stuff. She loved that thing, and she's like, I don't want to deal with Amazon. I don't want to order nothing from them. So I'll just delete my account. And boop.
Yeah.
With no account, she can't sign them to her Kindle, and then even if she would try to get her account back, it was gone.
Yeah. But yep. So that was the one thing at that house. Now my stepmom, like I said, they did hear footsteps and things like that there before, but so yeah, that was pretty amazing.
I've seen the lights flash before. I did I seen we were at. I know I told a story on your show, but I hadn't told it on here yet. I was at work and I remember we were watching. We watched Ghost Adventures all night long. It was, I had
Mm.
I had a they had mounted a satellite dish on top. It was actually a direct TV. No, it was a dish, satellite dish. But I had a direct TV box, and we just turned it. Excuse me. We turned it to the right direction for for direct TV satellites, and boom, we had direct TV, and so it was in my old room, and I'd moved out and everything, so I just used the box. I know I was like I
Right.
had it for like 6 months. My mom called me. It's like, you got that box? I was like, yeah, it's here at work. It's like, okay, all right, no problem. And back then they were like a lot more lenient on that stuff. You could
Right.
it was set up that way so like you could put it in like a RV or something like that and take your direct TV with you, kind of deal.
Oh,
When you
okay.
park, and so you'd have your box with you, and then take off in a camping or whatever in your RV, and then you stopped and you put your satellite dish out and you hook your box up and boom.
Right.
But so we were watching Ghost Adventures and stuff, and our Ghost Hunters one. It was like just a marathon on them, and
Mhm.
later in the night we were sitting there, and man, all of a sudden, me and we heard a loud noise outside. It was just me and this guy named Keith. We were the only two there. We were loading out clay gravel to the interstate, and we had no trucks there. We were just hanging out and waiting on trucks to show up. So it was just me and him there, nobody else there. Like if somebody showed up, we would see him like drive across the yard, whatever where we're at. We could see anybody coming. And all of a sudden we heard this loud noise outside, and then boom, and then all of a sudden, flashlight in front of us that was sitting up on underneath the TV came on.
Huh.
I was like, well, look at that. And then we're sitting there, it's like, which we did what you're not supposed to do. And then we're like, hey, we're all hyped up watching the show anyway. And we were like, huh. And it was like, oh, that's why the rain's starting it. That's why the probably power flickering a little bit. I hear rain now. But he turned around, and all of a sudden we're like, well, can you, if you can hear us or whatever, can you turn it back off? And damn flashlight went off. And I'm like, me and him looked at each other, holy shit. All right. Well, that's verify. You
Yeah.
testing the theory, you got to verify. And then I'm like, well, can you turn it back on? And it turned back on. Like it was on. Like I'm like, oh, what in the hell? It freaked me out though. Like I said, I've seen it on TV 1,000 times, and I actually seen it. And man, it was freaked me out.
That reminds me of I went to a presentation for a paranormal investigation team here at the library, newer library, not even the older library, which I believe is haunted, but or has energy in it. But they were showing the technology that they use and all that. And they had this. They brought up this little flashlight, and they said, "This is we use this sometimes." And they went over the whole thing. Yes, turn it on for yes, turn it off. Just how you can communicate with it. And they set it on this little stand, this little plastic stand they had for it. And it was just sitting there. And as he was talking about stuff, about investigations and things, boom, it turned on. and then a while later, boom, it turned off. And they're in the library. There's no wires that they could there's no wires connected to the thing. It's a regular flashlight. It was just pretty funny. I was like, this is how we use this, and here it is. And then you just sat down, forgot about it, and started turning it on and off. But
Mm-hmm.
a friend of mine used to come over a lot. He was in the area. Now he's not really in this area anymore, I don't think. But he'd come over a lot, and there's one time he brought one of those same flashlights over here
Ooh.
because he was interested in it, and I was interested in it. And we had talked about trying it sometime, but we hadn't actually done it. But he just set it up like, what, I'm just gonna set this here, and just in case anything ever happens, and maybe it'll turn on. Well, one day it did turn on while we were both here, and we thought, oh, okay. Now we'd heard, and there's different ideas about how vibrations can, because the way you do it is it's one of those flashlights where you turn the bottom, I believe, um, to make it turn on or off. And so I've heard one of the more skeptical takes on that whole thing is vibrations, just any number of environmental conditions could make it turn on. And now turn off, I've never heard anyone debunk that. But so we thought, well, maybe it just there's just a vibration or something and turned it on. But then, as we were talking about this, boom, off. It turned off on us. And we were like, oh, okay. And so, again, I never do this. I only did this one time. And it was only because there was someone else there with me. I was just like, we have to check this out. And so we started talking about, so is there someone here? And then it turned on. Oh, okay. Well, and we tried asking questions, and then nothing happened, and eventually it turned off. And then we were talking out loud and saying, well, maybe it was nothing, or maybe they're gone. And as soon as we said, oh, maybe they're gone, boom, back on again. we were just laughing because this is just too weird. It was just on the edge of, oh, there's someone here, or oh, there's not. But we kind of felt like there was, because it was just, the timing was just too much. Like, I'm not answering your questions, but I'm here. I'm gonna turn this on when you start thinking I'm gone. And it happened like that a couple of times where we'd ask questions and then no response, and then it would just turn off, and we'd say, oh, it looks like whoever it was is gone, and then boom, back on again. And then
Wow.
eventually it did stay off. But it was just hilarious, and so I think there's something to that whole flashlight thing.
Yeah, I mean, if there's no other explanation, kind of thing. If he's still here, Mr. Cole, have a good one, man. And if we don't see you, man, have a good, happy New Year. Ricky needs what's up, Mr. Duffy? Rick said Ricky needs a spa day. That sound like a winner. Sound like a plan. Um, yeah, I think there is something, like, because if there's no explanation, no um, whatsoever of what's going on, like, you can turn around if just a basic flashlight. It's nothing fancy, no remote, like you said, like with the lights and stuff, no remotes. And you can turn around and say, hey, turn it on, and it goes boop. And hey, can you turn it off? Boop, it goes off. It's um you know and you can go back and forth a few times, asking questions. It's got to be something going on there. I mean, it might be luck or a chance of, and it is possible, like, the wire, the lights shorten out all of a sudden for whatever reason, and it's magically turning on and off at the exact same time you're saying something. But, like, with us, we were 10 feet away from it when we had that flashlight come on. We were over 10 feet because we're both, like, way far away because we're watching the TV and stuff like that. And all of a sudden that flashlight came on his own. It was like, one of the regular, like, mag flashlights, so it was a good flashlight. And we told it to, hey, cut it back off, and it cut it off, and then I asked it to cut back on, and it cut back on. And one of the things that, one of the few times I've actually, like I said, I guess, like, because I was hyped up watching the shows and stuff, and and all of a sudden, and then stuff started happening. We're like, well, all in the moment, hey, we're going to see what happens, But I really didn't want to know that there was something going on or something attached to that plant because I spent too many hours there. Uh, but there was something there. Something's going on. Oh, well, Mr. Duffy says one night he woke up and the TV was on. He told his girlfriend, "What are you doing? Turn the TV off." She said it came on by itself, and I already turned it off with the remote, and it came back on again. Yeah, it's. What was on the TV? I wonder. What was it? What was it trying to get you to see, or it was just trying to get your attention? I wonder. One of them, like I wonder. You still there, James?
Oops, I must not hit. I must have the microphone muted.
Oh, you're good. I can't tell with it in the darkness, so I was like, well.
Yeah. I was just saying the TV the remote control thing it's tricky because I have heard of in some cases remote controls for different devices in other locations setting off other devices that they're not supposed to. Um, so not to say that that couldn't have been paranormal, but also it could have just been some kind of bad signal going too far from some other. I don't know if there's any other homes or buildings around where you were at, Mr. Duffy, I believe.
Yeah.
Sorry. But it's possible that could have been, you know, a technical issue. Unless there was other things happening at the same time or you got a weird feeling from it, then I would always say, well, maybe there's something more to it than that.
Yeah, he said sure could have been, but it never happened before or after.
Right.
Said
And
that
that's
his girlfriend was
yeah.
Native American, and so
Okay.
Yeah, she might had something that could,
Right. But
for sure got some energy and
yeah.
to the paranormal.
Yep. There's I was saying it too before I started talking when I was muted. Um the there are rare cases. I don't think it's every time because otherwise we'd have just constant reports of it, but where having on or paying attention to TV shows or movies on these topics can I don't know if it generates activity or if there's already some consciousness, one or more consciousness in a location that picks up on that you're watching that then decides to to act up because of that. But that is a thing I've heard of, and I experienced it once. Um, I when I went to this training center for people with low vision or no vision to just basically just learn how to live on their own, learn different methods and tools and things to make yourself more independent, even though you have this vision problem. I went there a couple times, and the last time I went there, they had remodeled the place like a year, not even a year before I went there again. This is also the place where I had that EVP, that when looking for the one named James I talked about last time.
Mm-hmm.
And the first night I went back there, when I got there, a bunch of people were all sitting in the, there must be something outside. Logan's like running around the blinds. Anyway, um, they were all watching it, one of those, I think it was one of the Ghost Hunters shows. And after I put my stuff away, I went back in there and sat down because why not? And I started noticing I was hearing bumps and bangs in the back half of the room that was empty, and also seeing shadows moving around that did not track with the TV. And someone else noticed me looking around and said, "Yeah, you noticed that too?" And I said, "Yeah." And they said, "Oh yeah, that's been happening all night since we've been watching these shows." And I thought, "Oh, okay." And actually, they did someone because one of the things they would show us how to do is use audio or voice recorders to take notes and do things like that for organization. And they actually used one of those and tried to record, pick up on the sounds, and nothing really came out of it. Like there was nothing extra on the recording that they did that night in that room. But yeah, so there's something weird about that. Every once in a while, um, if you're in a place that I think there has to be something, some energy, some consciousness already in the area. I don't really think that watching these shows automatically summons presences. But there are rare cases where yeah, it seems to be something is going on there while you're watching one of those shows or after.
I had it happen to me one time. Well, me and my daughter both. We were both. She was sleeping in the love seat, and I was sleeping in the recliner, and we were watching. I forget what the. I forget. I'd have to look it up again. Let me see. I think I saved in my phone, and and all of a sudden, we both seen the same thing, same entity or whatever, described the same way in the house, standing between us. And
Wow.
I never seen a thing again after watching that show, and I didn't watch that show anymore.
Right.
Like I watched a bunch of Ghost Adventures. I watched all of them. Like I go to sleep with them. I even have it on surround sound, so it's really like you can hear like stuff coming up beside, and stuff. Make you,
Right.
having absolutely having fun with it. But um, let me see. I know I have it here because I think I still got it in my phone. When I took a ghost ruined my life.
Mm.
It Eli Roth or something like that had something to do with it or whatever. And man, we were watching that, and boom! Like I said, that thing appeared between both of us. And when I woke up next morning, she was talking about she's seen it, described it the same way I seen it, and was like, it was wild. So I think there is some of it. I remember talking to a lady one time there in Hot Springs, Arkansas. It was a lady worked at I was checking into a hotel, and she worked at the front desk, and she was talking about um, her boyfriend worked at the Arlington hotel, which is super haunted, super haunted. You know,
Hmm.
like probably one of the top 10 most haunted places in the states, I think. I know in Arkansas for sure, but um, and and she was telling me about the stuff he's seen, and then she started talking about like different shows and stuff like that, and she was talking about this one show she's watching, and they were trying to summon something, and they had like three girls around like a pentagram, and it was sitting there, and then you realized like you were the fourth, you were to complete the circle, and she was like, "Oh nope," and she turned it off. But it was, um, but yeah, she was talking about it. It freaked her the hell out because once she realized like she completed the circle in the ceremony,
Yeah.
and then like I said that I know that one there freaked me out, and seen, um, it was a whole series of like Eli Roth and stuff like that. Like, man, I watched so many other a lot of shot docs and stuff like that. I mean, I never had any super bad dreams or anything coming up to me, but that one, I don't know. There was maybe something going on there that actually could channel and
Yeah.
bring stuff to say hi to you, open a portal, because that shit freaked me out. Absolutely.
And that is, yeah. See, that's either intentional, where someone is like, I want to have all this stuff happen to people, or
Mm-hmm.
just completely not thinking things through when they're doing that. Just thinking of the shock value or entertainment value of it, and not thinking about what if this stuff is real. What is this going to do to people that not even necessarily everyone, but just the possibility of it doing anything like that to anyone. That to me is yeah, that you have to be careful with that. To when you're making content like, especially I think, you know, content of like video, movies, and all that. You have to be careful with that. It's like you don't want to use the wrong images or words in even if you think it's fiction. Well, you know, if the intent is there and the person that made the images or the words that you're reading on a show or showing on a movie or whatever, or the symbols, then yeah, there's always a chance that could go wrong. And I think that's something that more people need to be aware of.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. There's ways to channel this stuff into our homes and stuff. And you got to remember, there's a lot of evil people in this world, and
Mhm.
they're going to put stuff in that that want that kind of stuff. That
Yeah.
now you're talking government or anything like that. Just absolutely, just there's evil people that wants to watch the world burn, as they say, and we have to be careful. What anything we put in, when we watch stuff or read, or because I wonder sometimes, like, if you could mess around, like like if you were one of those people that like read out loud, and you're
Mhm.
reading one of these books or something like that, and then they put an incantation in the book, and you read it out loud, and man, you're casting a spell in your house. Um,
Yeah.
you have to be careful of what you do. And I see Mr. Duffy, he put on there, Puffy, be safe out there. Enjoy your Sunday evening. Appreciate you coming on. Mr. Duffy said he had one time he was in the shower and he had something speak to him and said, tell him to get out and go see what his girlfriend was doing. And he said he stepped out and went, and she was taking money from his wallet. So,
Oh boy.
um, some of that, that intuition, that gut feeling. Man, I tell you what, I've gone against it so many times and paid the price so many times. Now is like whatever it says, I'm running with it. It's
Right.
like I was in my at work and stuff like that. I'll turn around like I'm like we're gonna cut the plant off. Like, why are we gonna cut the plant off? I was like, because I said so. I want to cut the plant off, and they're like, okay, and and I was like, I just have a feeling, but I was like, if we need to, we can crank it back up, no big deal. And then turn around and like 5 minutes later, 2 minutes later, they call, hey, we broke down on the road. I said, you need to shut down. I said, hell, I already shut down. And I did that so many times. So just my just that intuition, that gut feeling. I was like, as soon as I get it, I'm like, you know, um, especially like stuff like that could be, like guardian angels and stuff like that. I don't doubt that one bit that we
Right.
have them run around because with a lot of people, heard some of my stories of, what I've lived through, driving through trees and hitting another tree kind of stuff and walking home. And something has to be watching out for me, guaranteed. What are you doing, Miss Kitty? Miss Kitty's coming to say hi to
Oh.
our lovely group here.
But yeah, I think there's it's the intuition thing. I think there's that is a line of communication, and obviously sometimes we have our own intuition, but I think sometimes there's other positive forces out there that they can
Mm-hmm.
they can access that part of our, I don't know if it's our consciousness, our biology, or both somehow, to get messages across to us like, hey, you know, pay attention.
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, I think so. I think so too. They can, if they want us to know something, want us to protect something, like the story in the title. I'll tell it real quick.
Yeah.
My mom told me today. Speaking of that, let me pause my brain for a second. If y'all get a chance, go in the comments and put it in there and say we want Ricky's mom to come on the show and tell stories, so she can see people want to hear her tell stories. So if y'all could please, y'all get a chance, put some comments in there where I can screenshot it and show her and say, hey, look, mom, people want to hear you. She's worried about people hearing her voice. I'm like, nobody's gonna judge you on your voice, mom. You know,
Yeah.
you know, it is what it is. You know, you have a southern voice. It's okay.
Yes.
I do too.
Yep.
It's gonna
Wait, are
be
you,
okay.
Ricky? Your voice is southern. I hadn't noticed.
I know that's some people don't realize it. You know, I remember when I was in North Dakota and and I went in there and it was a Kwanzaa hut. The guy had took a Kwanzaa hut and made a bowling alley, and he had a food in there too. Of course they had like burgers and stuff. And he said, "Man, I got one of the best burgers." And he's like, "All right, I'll get a burger." And he turned around and looked at me. He was like, "Where are you from?" And so, yeah. What's up, Herschel? I see Herschel up in the Rumble now. Yeah. Y'all put in the regular comments down there. We need to get my mom. I think I almost had her on the fence for a second. At first, she told me absolutely no, and then she was like, "Well, I'll think about it." And she's like, "Well, I can't. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to set it up." And I was like, "Look," I said, my brother Donnie. I was like, "Donnie will come over there and he'll set it up for you. He'll have everything." He bought her a headset today just for it. I don't know what he spent on that headset. I have no idea. Probably like $40, $50 that damn thing, before she could do it. You know, so it's one of them things. It'd be fun. You know, just,
Yeah.
I say you don't have to. I say you don't have to put video on. You can do just like James and have no video.
Yep.
And, yeah, sounds American. Herschel says this sounds American to him. That's it. That's just America. But
There you go.
but she was telling stories. Today was her birthday, and I gave her some of James's books for her birthday. So once she's seen paranormal books, she started just spewing stories, paranormal stories and stuff like that. You know, really, really fast. She got talking fast and stuff. Maybe, maybe laugh a little bit. But she told me a story when she was a kid. They had a dog, I guess they had a dog named Hercules. He was probably about 275 pounds. Like literally, he was. My Bobby used to tell stories about how they had no tires on a Volkswagen Bug. And they could still drag it across the junkyard. He was so big and strong.
Wow.
And, he just had where you bolt the tires to, and he just chased people down the road, dragging a damn car with no tires on it. And he said he'd buy them like collars that was super thick, like inch thick leather, and he would break them. And my Bob would love that dog. And they used to be part of the CB Club and back in the day, and they had a whole bunch of people over there at the house and everything. Well, one of the jerks, dropped their cigarette off in the couch, and I think they've been drinking, and then and everything. They turn around, and of course back then, cigarettes didn't go out after a little bit. They burned. So everybody, but it took a little while, and everybody had gone to bed, and all of a sudden, the couch caught on fire. Well, Herc went in there and jumped up on the bed and started like taking his front paws on the bed and shaking it. Boom, boom. Of course, you got this 170-pound, 180-pound dog sitting there shaking the bed. Well, Baba got up and went to go check, and then he got my mom out there, my grandma, and my great grandma. Got them all out of the house, and then he went and drug the couch out. Once he got them out to safety, he went back in there and got the couch and drug it out into the yard so it could just burn in the yard. So, and then they asked him, he said, "How did you wake up?" And he said, "Well, Herc woke me up. Herc come in there and they're like, my mom's like, Daddy, Herc's been gone for 6 months. We had to put him down because he was sick, and, he was like, well, Herc woke me up.
Yeah. What else can you say?
That was, he just Herc woke me up, So it's pretty pretty wild, to think, hear that, you know, um, is it? And it's one of them things, you wonder it. And we talked about it last week too. Is a is it is it the essence or the entity? Is that that dog still, because of that bond, still watching
Right.
out for them, was still taking care of them, or very good possibility, um, or is it his guardian angel knowing what would take to get him up?
Yeah.
Like, okay, what can I do to make him wake up and go, hey, y'all, something, y'all about to go, you know, if I don't get you up, y'all gonna die.
Yep.
I know if I show up as, as hurt as their dog, he's gonna get up because he's so used to, for so many years, but, you know, I don't know, but it was pretty wild that, he was able to, to shake that bed, which, and wake him up, which,
Yeah.
Baba was a heavy sleeper. He snored like a bear. Absolute. Get off the keyboard. I'm watching the screen like he was about to. I thought the screen was about to die.
Oh
And there
no.
was this Miss Kitty on the keyboard. Get out of here. Crazy cat. But, yeah, I thought I was about to lose the TV. Um, but yeah, it's amazing to see that, hear that story. And then she told me two. She told me two today, and the other one was, um, it must have happened after I must have left, whatever. But I remember, like, my grandfather had a bad, like the last of it. He had like a big bad stroke and stuff like that. And I remember he was back to the point where, like, he's like a kid.
Mm.
I remember he about fell out of bed, and I had to pick him up, which I had to do everything I had to pick him up and put him back in the bed before he about to fall off, kind of deal. And he turned around and but Mom was sitting up there with him, and I just thought about what Mom said to me today. I wanted to. She just said something, and I just realized what she said. Huh. All right, let me finish this other story now, because I just freaked out just thinking about what Mom said. But I mean, I remember and then he was singing songs, like he was singing like old gospel songs and stuff like that. And man, I swear, Mom said her mom, if she did that, I don't think she realized that. But my mind's blown. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Because what happened was, let me spit it out. So Mom said she turned around and she's in the room and everything, and looked, and great grandma Phillips, my grandfather's mom, was sitting in the room with him. She'd been gone for many years. She passed away in like 91, 92. She had a mile-long funeral procession. They stopped a train for her in Mississippi.
Wow.
And yeah, it was lots of cousins, lots of like crazy. I got a huge, from her side of the family, I got a huge family just from her. My great aunt Myrtle had 13 kids, and then they multiplied too, like crazy too.
Oh
So,
yeah.
just that alone, not to mention the rest of them. So, so there's lots of kids and cousins, but yeah, it was over a mile long procession and they stopped the train to let the procession go by. I remember that, but it was the first time I had to be a pallbearer. Was the first time too. So,
Yeah.
but I was 12, I guess. I started my pallbearer duties. Good times. But
Hmm.
she been gone a long time, and I just thought about what she said to me, and I'm gonna have to ask her now, cause I swear to goodness, she told me she's like she looked at her mom, and it's like hey, do you see what I see over there? And she's like, yeah. Um,
Okay.
but the what I'm freaking out about is processing my brain. My grandma, her mom had been passed away many years before that.
Huh. Yeah. That's those kinds of realizations. I've had a couple of those over the years too, and it's just like, wait. So
I
yeah.
swear she said that today. She's like she looked at her mom, and I don't think she realized what she said. I know she said that.
Hmm. I Speaking of a weird kind of thing with funerals and hearses, especially. My grandma years ago told me about a couple. They were a husband and wife. They were friends of my grandparents, and apparently the husband told the wife, "When I die, I don't want to be transferred or moved. I don't want to be in a hearse. Do not put me in a hearse." And then years later, he passed away. And of course, the wife forgot about it, and so they put his body in a hearse after it had come to get it. That hearse would not start. They could not get this vehicle that had been working just fine until that moment to start. And they tried and tried and tried, could not get it to work. So they had to rent a van, like a huge van, to transport him instead. And apparently, as soon as he was off of that hearse and the van went away, the hearse worked just fine.
Nah.
So make of that what you will, but I find that fascinating.
Yeah, you never know. It's one of them. The power, that the energy.
Yep. Yep. So, but yeah, the I don't know. I've never seen any apparitions of my family that passed on while I was awake. It's always been in dreams. Um, so, and it's mostly been my grandma on my dad's side. Um, last time I mentioned, I told the story about how one time she came to me and she told me to get vitamins. I needed vitamins for some reason at a certain point in time, and I took them. I got them. I took them, and then but she never came back again to say, hey, you stopped taking vitamins. Why'd you do that? So apparently, I just needed them for this one point in time for a little while, and then apparently it was okay to stop taking them because never had that again. But my favorite with her was almost right after she passed. I had a dream about her, um, where I was sitting in the living room of their house, and all the furniture was there, but none of their other belongings were out. Like there were tables um, still there, but nothing was on any of the tables, and except for her cell phone, which she had just gotten like I don't know 5 maybe 10 years before she passed. And I was sitting alone in the house, and it started to ring, but the screen never lit up for some reason. But I picked it up, And again, even though it doesn't make sense, I put it next to my ear, and I heard my dad, who is very much alive. He said, "We'll be there in a minute," and I said, "Okay." And I put the phone down on the table, and the front door opened, and family started piling in, and it was all family that's again very much alive, but I could see them, but it was like they weren't really there. But then
Hmm.
my grandma came on into the house, and for the last I think 20 maybe 30 years of her life, I'm not sure how long, she needed a cane or a walker to walk around sometimes. Um, and but when she came into the house in this dream, she didn't have any of that with her. She just walked into the house, and she looked the same, but she just walked in and she was smiling, and everyone was around us, and but it was I could feel that the only ones that were real in there was myself and her, and we all filed into the dining room, and a lot of the family went into the kitchen. I could hear them like starting to make food and things like a family gathering. And she went and sat on one of her favorite chairs, and which I had for some years after she passed. And she was just looking around, and every so often she would just look at me and be smiling. And then she'd just look around, and it was just like I felt like it was her saying, "Hey, I'm fine. Everything's fine." And I woke up from that, of course, crying, but it was just amazing because it was like it was a a message in the form of this kind of a play or it wasn't even really a direct memory because usually for family gatherings, by the time I get there, it's already starting. Like food has already been made, people are already there. I'm not ever the first one there to be in the house, and so yeah, it's pretty amazing. But so I've had a few messages from her over the years.
That's pretty cool though. I mean, it's a comforting thing. You think about. You look back and you start thinking about, man, these um, your loved ones are still watching over you. And good or bad. You don't want to think about, oh, they can see me do if I do wrong or whatever. You don't want to think
Yeah.
about it that way, because everybody makes mistakes and nobody was perfect and they weren't perfect
Yep.
either.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
we're human, but
Yep.
it is nice that way that if you look over it like, hey, they're watching, keeping their eye on me, because they just that love and connection because they care. Um, so uh, it's a powerful, deep feeling there when especially your loved ones come back, and I'm with you. A lot of times I've seen several in my dreams. Um, I had one. It wasn't a relative of mine like that, but um, it was an entity. It was kind of attached to my kid's mama, and
Hmm.
where she went, he kind of went, and it was, um, they called him Jimmy, and I remember sitting in bed, and I was awake, and I swear on everything. I know I was awake then, but I swear on everything. It was just like a movie. It's like the whole room like got huge, just
Mm.
kind of deal. Temperature dropped, and like it was standing on the end of the bed, and I'm like, only thing I knew to do was be a kid,
Right.
even though I was like 28 or something like that. And I pulled my freaking blanket and head over my head, and like, I'm not dealing with this right now. That's all I kept on thinking. I was like, I'm not dealing with this. And I remember hitting the bed, and then gone. Like everything went back to normal. And then
Hmm.
like a day later, or so, he came to me in my dream, and I remember I was sitting there and I was having a conversation, and I remember pissing him off because I was like, because he's like, I said, what is your name? He's like, I'm James. I said, okay. So what are you doing? I was like, what did you? And I messed up and made kind of the quintessential, I guess mistake, I guess. But I was like, what did you do not to be able to cross over? And as soon as I said that, he got mad and left, and poof, and I didn't see
Oh
him
yeah.
anymore. I never seen him again after that. So I pissed him off, but I'm not sure what he was trying to, why he was coming to me. I don't know. I didn't get to that point.
Right.
I upset him before we got there, but yeah. Then I told my ex and the kid's mama in there, and she was like, "Yeah, that's Jimmy. He was there. She's sensed him and talked to him like we at her dad's house, and I guess she, and we had moved to another house when we rented a house and stuff. So she was literally attached to her. Wherever she went, he followed her. So, or I don't know if she had something with her, or he just followed her for whatever reason, and
Right.
so
So different situation, but that's reminds me of one time I had a visit from both of my grandparents, a visitation dream kind of experience, and I didn't even get to talk to them because I was listening to an audiobook, Robert Monroe's Journeys Out of the Body, and I fell asleep in my chair, and I found myself in my grandparents' house again. And again, all their furniture was there, and they were sitting in their usual chairs in the living room. But there was this voice, this guy talking, and and I was trying to figure out where this voice was coming from because my grandparents were there and I was there with them, and I just wanted to get this guy to shut up because I wanted to talk with my grandparents. And I was wandering around the house trying to figure out where this voice was coming from. Didn't even think about when I saw my old laptop sitting on the dining room table. Maybe I could have, like, that was symbolic. Like I should have gone over there to and opened it and tried to stop it from there, you know. But I was just so annoyed, and eventually my grandma laughed and said, "It's coming from you, James." And I just stopped, and I woke myself up laughing because I realized, oh, dang, yeah, it was coming from me. It was the audiobook, and I was somehow hearing it still, even though I was having an out of body visitation experience with my grandparents. And, you know, I wanted to talk to them, but I couldn't because my audiobook was playing. And I was like, dang it, I wanted to talk with them, see how they were doing it, you know. Didn't get to do any of that, you
damn
know.
audiobook.
Yeah. So, but it is a hilarious story because it's just like how fitting, you know, talking about astral projection, looking into all the things I look into, and I actually have an experience and can't even, you know, it's cut short basically because of my own audiobook.
I'm impressed that you were able to do it. Having that extra distraction. And I always, I thought you were supposed to have, that, be kind of a quiet place, or I don't know. I guess you'd, um, kind of like hemi sync or something like that, where you get certain sounds and stuff, put you in a certain point. But um, I'm amazed that you were able to do that with that going on in the background. I know I've had a bunch of dreams um, with shows come into them and stuff like that. Especially like used to watch the History Channel all the time, and I still do watch the History Channel. But I used to like I don't watch it on the channel. I watch like on the app or whatever now and stuff. But
Right?
back day I would watch it. I just had it on the channel. I was playing it, and I remember I woke up and it was, what in the world is going on? It freaked me out, but I I woke up because of it because I was freaked out. I didn't know what was going on, but they were playing. It was the Revolutionary War, and they were talking about it and everything. But because it was like 4 o'clock in the morning, it was in Spanish. So
Oh,
so it really, I was really confused. But I was in, everything was going on. Like I could see like the stuff going on like that with like the Revolutionary War. But it was like, yeah, like the language barrier was. I could, I can pick up I can pick up a few words, here and there.
Yeah.
I'm better at context. I had a guy come in the other day at the gym, and he was like, he don't speak very good English, but he understands. He's like, well, I'm kind of the opposite there. You know, he's like, I don't speak, many Spanish, but I understand better, and I understand, I can read it better, and I can understand,
Right.
because of context of, the other words in it, like the ones I know, and I'm filling in the blank with the other part, and I can loosely figure it out, but and just like the context, but yeah, I was like, what in the hell is going on here? But I was in that deep slumber,
Oh,
you
you
know,
know what's funny?
fighting
Yeah.
damn battles and mm,
It's it's funny because that's only the first time I had a something I was listening to actually went with me into an experience because the second one I had fallen asleep while listening uh to Mike's show, to Trouble Minds Radio, and I found myself in the house where I had my first experience with my cousin, um, but I didn't recognize any of the furniture, and I was sitting in a rocking chair in front of this entertainment center, and there was a TV there, and it had like it was almost like a streaming app, kind of like a uh, that kind of image with like the show playing on it. It wasn't video of Mike's show; it was just the audio.
mm,
But it looked like that kind of typical interface for a device. And but there are people coming and going uh, in front of me, between me and the TV, and I didn't recognize any of them. And this was in the middle of winter. It was like in February or something like that, a few years ago. And I didn't recognize anyone, and they were all carrying like cups and plates like it was a party, but they were not. They were going outside, which didn't make sense. And not only that, they were all wearing like what clothes like it was summertime, which it wasn't. And eventually they all stopped. Everyone stopped coming in or going out, and I got up and I went and looked outside, and I could see into the backyard, and there was just people all around, and I started seeing these lines of light, with different colored lines of light just coming down from the sky and hitting the ground, the sky was like full of these lines, which didn't doesn't make sense. Like there's nothing like that in real life that does that or that will do that. And I was I was afraid of it because that didn't make sense. So I closed the door and went and stood in front of the TV, and Mike's show was actually ending, and it ended, and while I was still in this out of body, I don't know, time travel, because it was like it was summer there. I didn't see any snow on the ground either, and it ended, and I was trying to figure out like, okay, so now what do I do? And I was tempted to explore the house, but all of a sudden I felt like, no, there's someone else in the house, further in the house, and I don't know if I want to go and meet anyone in person. Like here, like who's that gonna be? And is it gonna be that there's just that head of that old woman that my cousin and I saw the first time in the basement? I don't think I want to encounter that. You know.
mm,
So I just stayed there, and eventually everything went faded to black, and I woke up, and the show really had ended. Like when I woke up, it was completely quiet in my apartment, and I don't know what that was about. If it was alternate dimension kind of thing, parallel, time. I don't know what that was, but it was one of the wildest experiences I've ever had because it just so much about it did not make sense. Other than I was in this haunted house that I keep visiting in my dreams over the years, out of body experiences, and while I was listening to Mike's show, it was really odd.
I bet. Um, yeah, I know I think I've had some more out of like out of body type situations. I think I had. I think I was possibly because I've talked to like Shane, um, which he's been on the show, Brian Blind Sockanaut. We need to get him on here on the Sunday show now.
Yes, I was really sad I didn't get to when you were doing those shows. I was not feeling something was going on. I wasn't feeling well, or I was busy with family or something where I was not able to join you for those shows.
Yeah, I had to get Shane on here now, so I think he let him roost. Um, but we talked about it, and it's like I don't know. I know I had the one where um, I know I had one of my exes come to me in my in my dream world or whatever, and was talking to me and telling me all this stuff, and I'm like, basically said, you made your bed, it is what it is, leave me alone. And I
Yeah.
remember I woke up the next day and I texted her. I was like, "Don't leave me alone. Don't come to me in my dreams. Leave me
Right.
alone." And
Yeah.
I didn't get no comment back, but I'm sure it was, you know, I don't know whatever it is, what it is, but that was truly like, deep down it felt real as hell, like having that come up there. And I've had others like just you know run into people and just different things like that. But like that one there, I was always stuck out in my mind where it was like, man, I know I talked to somebody there, um, and it was just too. It was weird. It was another one. It's like I wonder, like sometimes I think movies sometimes get it right,
Mhm.
because it was just kind of like we are hanging out like in this astral plane little area and stuff, and watch out, Shadow. Um, it was just a weird area. Like it wasn't a normal house, a normal room. It was just kind of like a cloudy, like like an astral plane projection. Like you're sitting there and like you've seen on movies and stuff like that. That's what it really was. It was. I remember, I was like, look, you got what you wanted. Leave me alone. I'm done. There's nothing.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this. Uh, and it stopped afterwards. After I said, it never happened again. It was one of them things like I never had that happen again. So it made me kind of, reaffirmed like maybe that really did happen because it didn't happen again afterwards. Like it was,
Yeah.
if it was just a dream, you by times you'll have like similar dreams back to back, especially you got something on your head or something. But that was like the next night and on, it was just like, nope, done, nothing. And I'm like, maybe that really did happen. That was I was really I didn't understand. Well, I still don't understand most of this stuff, but I'm open to more. Thanks to the Troubled Minds family and stuff like that, I see more, find out about more stuff,
Yeah.
and and a lot of it like it's not that I found it, is I've known about it, but it was like, who do you talk to about some of this stuff? Well, who do you talk about this kind of like Miss Karen says, woo woo stuff. Who do you talk to about? That don't make you look like you're, you know, they don't want to put a jacket on you and put you in a little padded room, kind of thing. And so that's I've always been thankful for the Troubled Minds family, so that we can, nobody judging, nobody has the answers. We're all asking questions and stuff like that. So, makes
Yeah.
you wonder and everything.
Well, it does help too when you hear about, it's one thing to hear about experiences from like people you don't know, shows or whatever, where you're not, part of it or anything like that. It's another thing when you start talking to people and you're talking and they say, yeah, I had this experience, and you're like, oh, so that's something that's not just that's not just made up. It's actually here's someone that had this experience that I'm talking to you right now. That's helped me a lot too with a lot of these things as well.
Hmm.
But yeah. So and just the out of body thing, you reminded me of a couple of experiences I had where I knew I was out of body, and I When it happened, I was near people. A couple times one time I was near my grandma actually before she passed, and I found myself in her dining room, and I could see her sitting in the living room, and I wanted to go over and say hi, but then I stopped because I realized, I don't feel like a regular body. Like I don't feel like I'm in a regular body right now. So what am I going to look like or sound like to her? Is she gonna see like a stereotypical ghost, like just a mass of white light or something? Is that
Hmm.
gonna like completely terrify her? I don't want to do that, you know. And so I didn't do anything. And I always wonder too, with apparitions of where it's not clear, even where it is clear, how often are apparitions that people see in places? How often is it just someone else having an out of body experience? Because I had another one where I found myself back in that house where my cousin used to live, and I was in the basement again, and I heard people up on the ground floor talking, and I went to the stairs, and I went up the stairs to the door that led to the ground floor, and I stopped at the door because I realized the same thing. You know, what am I going to look like or sound like to these people? Because I didn't recognize their voices. You know, so like I didn't go any further because I didn't want to freak anyone else out. And I wonder how often that happens. That could even be the source. Sometimes I just realized this. When people hear footsteps, I wonder if sometimes it's someone having an out of body experience and they don't realize right away that I'm in this weird place. And they suddenly realize that and they realize there's people around them and they don't go any further because they're thinking, I don't know these people. I don't want to like encounter them. Who knows how that's going to go? I just wonder now how much paranormal activity, not just apparitions, but now thinking about it, other things, sounds, you know, whatever else is out there, how much of that is people having out of body experiences and they don't even know or plan or intend to go to places when they do? Because I know I never do. It just happens.
Yeah, I understand.
So, but
I'll play nice, Mr. Duffy. It's New Year's. We don't have to be. Play nice, Mr. Duffy. Come on.
but yeah. So I wonder about that now. I'm just thinking how much of all this is and again it goes to that idea of everything eat everything above or everything basically all at once is could be happening.
Yeah.
So
Oh, for sure, for sure. And thank Miss Karen for leaving that comment. And Ray, yeah, uh, it, Trouble Minds has made a lot of people like giving us an avenue of so many intelligence.
hmm.
I'm over here reading comments. I'm sorry,
Oh,
but
okay.
yeah, we're this ADD brain kicks in every once in a while. But yeah, we need to have that the place that to be it. No, we can talk and have a conversation because there's a lot of things we don't understand. We absolutely don't understand. Um, some we think we do. We have the answers to, but in the end of the day, um, we're all kind of guessing, especially on the afterlife and the spiritual life.
hmm
We we're speculating. I guess until we get to the other side and we get that definite answer.
Yeah,
Um,
it's and there I always say I don't know anything about this stuff except there's one thing I do know, but it's a thing I know from experience, and I would never say I know it for everybody. But of course, the one thing I do know is when I've had visitations from loved ones, I could tell it's them. Uh,
mhm.
but I don't expect everyone else to believe me when I say that.
Yeah.
That's just a personal thing to me where I could tell it was them. But I mean, beyond that, I don't know how any of this works. You know.
But you're the paranormal expert of the known universe, James. Well, you're supposed to know these things. You're supposed to be able to quote, and we can
uh,
take it to the bank.
yeah, no, that's not how that works.
Mike Strange told me, so I don't know. Maybe.
Uh,
Uh,
but yep. But it's important to talk. Like you said, and have these conversations because I just that realization about certain things, footsteps and all that kind of stuff. Um, that literally just came to me, and it only came to me because we were talking about these things.
hmm Absolutely, it's amazing. Like you can, I I talk it with my martial arts too. Like I'll show. I mean, I've shown some people a technique 100 times. And I can have somebody else come in and show the same technique, and everybody's like, "Oh, okay, click," and it clicks. Or we can talk about things a bunch of times, and then one moment it's like it clicks, and you have clairvoyance of the whole situation. It's like, ah, now I understand what is going on. Now I see. It's amazing how sometimes it just takes just a moment, the right moment of the right ingredients on each side to actually put it all together, and then poof, I have a better understanding of what's going on in this side, in this field. But um, that's always amazed me how you just all of a sudden one day it clicks, absolutely. Other times you're like, man, I don't know what's going on, I don't understand, I have
Yeah.
cloudy brain of it, and then all of a sudden, poop, uh, your your eyes open up, and maybe that is part of it. Like I said, I have no definite. Like Mr. Strange says, I have no definite answers. I've just got questions, and and sometimes my questions get all over there. But um, maybe that's the moment. We're actually able to crack our third eye, pop open every once in a while, and that's when maybe we get that extra conveyance of what's going on. Maybe, but um, but as always, anything is possible.
Oh, I feel like I've heard that before.
I heard it somewhere.
Yeah,
Rumor has
some
it.
show. Yeah, but yep. No, it's it's funny because here I am. Like I said, I've been doing this now 5 years, um, and it took me that long to get to that point to have that realization. That like out of body experiences, they could explain more than just apparitions. They could explain footsteps and sounds. You know, so.
For sure, absolutely.
But I'm trying to think of. I know I covered. So I covered my. I can't remember if I told you about the sounds of my place before we started recording or after. I think it was before.
Yeah, I think so.
So, but yeah. Unless there's anything in chat you want to read, but yeah, you know.
No, go ahead, let her up there. I think chat's calming down.
Okay. Yeah, I see how long that lasts, right? But yeah, I mentioned a little while back. I've been hearing just sounds like someone just taps the blinds in the front of my window next to my front door, and I thought that was happening because I used to have just one of the vertical blinds along my back door, which is one of those sliding glass door patio door things. And so, but I used to have the one of those blinds, those vertical blinds, just moving back and forth, and it always go back and forth, and then go side like front to back, side to side, just do weird things that couldn't be explained by like drafts or the heater or air conditioner turning on or off because it would always be when those were off. And but then eventually I stopped noticing it, and part of the reason for that is I moved things around in my apartment, So now I'm not facing the back anymore. And I had a feeling like someone likes to say hi once in a while. And so once they realized he's not facing that those vertical blinds anymore, they decided to go somewhere else and make a sound. So I didn't have to see anything moving. I would just hear it. So I've been having that once in a while here, like once, twice a week, something like that, for a few weeks now. But this week, beginning of this week, I had that, and also I've been noticing, I've been hearing just the sound of one of the vertical blinds being tapped, but right at the top of the blind. And these things are, part of a door wall. Like they're at least, probably close to 6 feet up in the air. So, and I'm only 5'2" inches, so it's not me. Um, and at first I was thinking,
It's
I
Logan.
noticed
Logan
it, and
jumping.
oh yeah, yeah, no, yeah, even jumping, I don't even think I could do it.
Yeah.
But sometimes it would happen, and I would notice that, well, that there's an explanation. My cat's right there. Logan's at the window, and she moves the blinds to one side. But other times I noticed I would hear it, and I would look, and she wouldn't be there, and the blinds would not be moving. So I'm getting taps from front and back now, here and there. But the other day I was here, and I was hearing just once in a while that sound of someone tapping the blinds in the front. But also I was hearing the sounds of like someone's clothing, like their clothes shifting or moving as I was hearing the tap, like before and after. So it was really odd, and it was in the middle of the night, and nothing. I didn't feel anything bad about it, but it was just more of like a, almost felt like a more of a stronger, like, hey, I'm here, hello, like saying hi, and almost felt like positive, like it did not feel negative in any way, so I had no problem with it. But that's new. I haven't had that sound of like clothes moving around along with anything for, I don't think, since I've been here. So
Hmm.
it's been interesting. But if you think about the time of the year, it's like right near the end of the year, all the holidays, all the these holidays about um, renewal, rebirth, just things starting over, like starting over, kind of that kind of thing. I don't know if there's something to that, if that's part of why that was happening, but yeah, so it was pretty neat, really, to me.
Yeah, there's something about this time of year. There really is. You, maybe it's part of the the equinox, and
Hmm.
all that
Solstice.
energy there, and the solstices. Yeah, yeah, the solstices. You know, and the winter solstice and the changing, and now the days are getting, now the days are getting longer, and just a different energy,
Hmm.
and and then plus, I think a lot of people, I would think, would be super sensitive, just because this time of year is very, um, because of family and stuff like that. It's the time of year you start
Yeah.
thinking about stuff. You're putting it in your brain. You're processing that, like, man, I remember this person. I remember that person, or whatever. And so it makes it hard. It's a hard time of the year for a lot of people,
Oh yeah.
and I'm one of them. I'll just be honest. This ain't a good, never is. Like, especially the
No.
last 20 years. So it ain't never been good to me. Um, I do my best. I smile and try to make everybody happy, but uh, it's not it's not a very good time for me, just because of this and
Yeah.
that. But uh, it's just, I think it's, combination of some of that, just that different energy, and then um, especially we're just coming off of like Halloween and stuff like that, and that energy from that,
Yeah.
that that thin line that some say, is, I think it's just a combination over there of so many different variables right there.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's scary. Yeah, solstice. I don't know why I said equinox. I'm my brain is sideways, I guess. The winter equinox. Uh, lost my mind sometimes. There's just too much in my head sometimes. I I feed my brain so much information, and sometimes it's hard to get it out the way it's supposed to come out.
Well, you are amazing in all the research you do. Like as you're doing other things, I'm always seeing your posts on on especially over like in the Trouble Mind server and stuff. And I don't get to check out your server as much as I'd like to, but you're always looking into things. So I really, to me, that's amazing that you can do that because yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, if I pretty much post the same thing. If I put it over there, I put it on mine. It's kind of
Oh, okay.
yeah. So if you see it over there, you're seeing it on mine. Just at least I'm trying to do something on it. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I try to keep just how my brain works is once I see something interesting. Like I was guess I could get in that. It was I did a I got a recording, but I got 3 shorts because I was watching a show talking about it, and let me pull up my notepad here, and it was like talking about um, reincarnation and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And
That's a
it was
fascinating topic.
it is, and I got 3 shorts. I can break it down, but um, like this one right here talking about it. So next year I already got this year's shorts recorded, so of course we ain't got much of this year left. Um, but like this one, like one, there was a guy that had a radio shop, and he got he got killed. Well, this uh, later on, it's uh, your boy come up and was saying like, hey, he's at 4 years old, he was like, he was talking about like, hey, look, I used to have a nicer home. I used to have, my wife used to do this, and and where he had his radio shop, he named everything. Well, his
Wow.
brother went and decided, well, I'm gonna go see. Is he, he's just being a kid, very, and I wonder sometimes, like we talk about kids, like having that amazing imagination. I wonder how much of it's imagination or how much of it actually is like, post, uh, past life experiences, like just popping in, feeding in there. But he was talking about, so his brother went to go to that place, and he found a lady who was at the radio shop, and he would turn around and he was like, yeah, my name, and his wife, um, Verma, recognized her name, and he was like, look, and did you have, and he's like, yeah, my husband was killed 5 years ago, and blah, blah, blah. And so he turned around, and so they came to see him. So she came, brought her family and everything. They all got in the car and drove up there to see him, see the 4-year-old, and see, like, okay, let's see, what kind of stuff he knows. And he recognized his wife, recognized the family, the kids. He even was like, um, "Where's where's our car?" Like they had a different car, and he said, "Where's our car?" And she freaked out, like, how did he? What do you even know that?
Yeah.
Because I think it was a Fiat or something like that. I forget what the name of the car was. I didn't put that. I don't have that in my notes, but he actually named the car even, and was like, "Hey, what happened?" And so he actually turned around and was telling people about who killed him and who it was. There's people that had gone to this radio shop, and they actually opened up a cold case because of it, and actually convicted the killers who actually killed him beforehand.
Wow.
Because the testimony of the 4-year-old was so spot on that they actually used it in court, and they actually found the guys guilty for murdering him 5 years before. And so that was and there was a couple others right there. I got 3 different, like, real life reincarnation. Another one, oh, and also I forgot, he had a scar on both sides of his head where the same spots where the guy had got shot.
I've heard of that with other cases.
And then there was another one where the guy had gotten his uh, throat slit, and the child had a scar on his neck that
Mm-hmm.
mimicked the. and so I got a story on that, and yeah, I got a few of them I got to record and stuff like that. I got a bunch of stuff I've been saving, and because I watch all kinds of stuff and I try to pick up stuff, and of course I still with all the politics and stuff, I try to keep up with that stuff too on top of everything,
Yeah.
um, which is which is hard on all of it, but um, yeah, I'm just just always curious and everything. What's up, Don? Glad you made it tonight.
Yep. Thank you all for being here. I I have to. I can. I like to do research. I just have to limit it to like once a day, kind of, unless I'm listening to stuff. But yeah, it's a lot of work just to do. What you do and what I do. It is.
Oh, it
I'm
is. It takes a lot of time. Like you like I said, just you know, you and you luckily you're not insane like I am and want to and look up every damn thing.
Well, see, I
You
am, but my eyes say no. My
I
eyes,
understand,
you know.
but you limit yourself to a certain click of
Oh
kind
yeah.
of information.
Yep.
The ghost inside of my child. I'm trying to remember. I don't know if I remember that one or not. I remember seeing the one like names and stuff. I'm never very good at. Like I remember details better than I can remember names. Like I don't remember people's damn names.
Right.
And but um, it was like it was a kid. He he was a World War II pilot. That's
James
that's who
something.
he was.
I
He
think it was.
remembered and everything, and he was able to
Yeah.
like um. I think they even showed that on like one of them like 60 Minutes or something like that, or something like that at one time, and he turned around and was able to name everybody on this thing, all the people in the pictures, and um, and remembered all of it, and remembered when he crashed, like which is just a horrifying thing to remember, like like he
Yeah.
visualizing him dying over and over again. That's just got to be a horrific thing to even think about. And but they actually took him out to the spot in the sea where his plane crashed, and he released some flowers and stuff into the water, and I don't know if he and they say he stopped talking about it, afterwards. I don't know if he
Right.
released that memory with it. Can you do that? Release that that post, or he's just like okay, he's able to close that chapter. Once he realized like, hey, I was right. It was all this stuff. And it's like one of them things like, man, how do you explain any of that?
Yeah.
Like you hear people talk about it like, well, there's no much, there can't be that such a thing. How in the world does somebody know every detail? Like the guy knew his wife, he knew the kids, he knew what kind of car he drove, he knew, who killed him, like the kid with the World War II pilot. He knew things about airplanes he should never known, not as a
Yeah.
little kid. And knew all the guys' names and everything. Once they found some pictures of his squadron, he knew all the names of everybody, and he was right. He wasn't just making up. This is Billy Bob, and this is Joe Schmo, but he was right on the money on all of it. It was just now, how do you explain that if it is not? You know, I seen I seen Ray say it on when he was on Derek was talking about, and there's a video I seen a long time ago. He was talking about the egg theory, um, and the egg theory. And there's a video I seen 15 years ago, probably on YouTube, and was talking about the egg theory. Where, well, let me ask: have you ever heard of the egg theory, James?
Not until I listened to that show from Ray K and from Derek.
Yeah, yeah. No, there's a video. I'll I'll drop it in your thing. The one I got, and it's and the egg theory is basically you are everybody,
Right.
and you're all in this one world, and then you have to keep on being born and die again until the point you get into the to evolve into the next, and then you become like a god, and then you have your own person to deal with and another egg, and you get your own egg, and it's weird when I've seen it long time ago. But and it was like everybody's the same, you know. And like if you're all the bad people, you're all the good people, and it was odd. But it was I seen it a long time ago, and I seen her talk about it with Derek talking about the egg theory, and but it's like having this, there's something to it, you know, or are we? I heard somebody else. Where was it at? I hate not being able to give credit where credit is due. Is the only thing I
Yeah,
hate
it's tough.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Is was talking about it. It was like wonder as we as a people have a memory, like we're able. There's this memories of it. Like if we turn around and shit hit the fan, and we had to go back, you know, how many people would able to go hit, there'd be that switch in them and go boop, and they'd be able to do doot, start doing stuff that like they did before, like we, you know, um, in the olden times and stuff like that, where you'd be
Right.
able to, make structures and grow your food and do everything. All of a sudden, like boop, that memory comes in, and because like if we have that, you know, that memory coming across, like we had that memories of, we had the evil memories, the memories of war and all that through generations and stuff like that. How much do we carry on? You know, we see people now that we have. Hey, he looks just like my grandfather. He looks just like my great.
Yep.
She looks just like my grandma or great great. You see generations skip over, and then you'll hear like their voice, like singers, stuff like that. Hank Williams Senior and the third, they look just alike. It's scary if you know what I'm talking about there. And um, you have those, and he sounds just like his grandpa. And you can what can carry on through the generations. I wonder, and uh, y'all go on. Y'all gonna fight right next to me?
Oh.
But I wonder on that. What do we carry from our ancestors up? We, that some of us might carry that knowledge of or that with that interest. The reason we are interested in certain things. We are more interested in this mystical stuff because hey, maybe my you know great 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 grandma was into that stuff too, or was a witch, or whatever is
Yeah.
wonder how far does that go on. I'm curiosities and that stuff would pop in my head sometimes.
I do wonder about that too, because I had um, I don't know if it was an out of body experience or not, what exactly it was. But years ago, I had a dream about being out in the country, and it felt real. It felt like a out of body experience or just being somewhere else. But I was out in the middle of nowhere in the country, and I saw some family I recognized, and we were heading towards this big, like, I don't know if it was a pavilion or something, some kind of building, and we were all heading over there, and I could see other people around us that all had, like, I felt like they were all family. I didn't recognize all of them. I didn't recognize all their voices, but I felt like it was all family. And like we were all getting together. And I don't know what it was about that, but it felt like some kind of gathering with ancestors and with family from the past,
Hmm.
and just a deep connection of that, the deep feeling of that. Like everything was fine. There was no problems there. It was weird because I didn't know where I was at, but other than that, I was fine with it. And I didn't like, I never got to the point where I ate anything, but I could see it was just a huge family gathering,
Hmm.
and I felt like it was, these are people here that they came before, like they came before not just me, they came before my family that's around now. That's my aunts and uncles and you know grandparents. Like these are people I don't even know, but I could tell I was related to them, not just by how they look, but just the conversations, the just the feeling of it. And so I think there is something to that, and I don't know what that was, but some kind of gathering of and it's what I wonder about that is okay. if I could have pinpointed when that was, and I could have asked my family members, hey, did you have a dream on this particular night about, being out in the middle of and see if any of them had that experience because it felt so real. And or I mean, now I'm just thinking about this. Were the family members that I thought I recognized, did I really recognize them? Or were there just ancestors there that looked a lot like family members I have now?
Hmm.
I hadn't thought about that before, but just you know what you were describing there to me makes me wonder now. Was I the only one there from this generation, and I was just going to a gathering with people from before?
Could be now. I mean, it'd be like when the Black Panther went back and he ate the flower or whatever and went and then he's seen his dad and all his other ancestors, the other Black Panthers. Be that kind of realm where you get to go back and see. Hey, this is my whole generationals of family. That'd be pretty wild. Go back and see um, over and over again.
Yeah, and
I
I
see,
mean,
I see
sorry.
Miss Karen. She put yeah, that's. I thought it was a series. She was talking about that whole series of one. It's called The Ghost Inside My Child, but that was one of the episodes, the one with the airplane. I remember seeing it for sure. I remember seeing several of them. I've watched so much stuff like that over the years. It's hard
Yeah,
to bring back. But that was one that touched me, and then I seen that other one with the kid, and they had actually used his testimony to convict people. It was first time in history kind of deal,
yeah,
using reincarnation memory to convict somebody.
and but of course, that doesn't make headlines across the country because you know that's not newsworthy,
Oh yeah.
supposedly.
Uh, Quantum Alchemist says it is remembrance, James. Our current experience is separation. However, it is all just a temporary, illusionary experience. And
Mm,
indeed, what you felt there was truth in your true home and family.
yeah, yep. It was amazing, and it was positive. It was, and I wonder too, how much of that experience was I like? Is there more that I just don't remember because it was, partially like in a dream state that I had it?
Hmm.
Is there more that happened there than I know now?
I wish I could control my dreams. Like you hear people talking about, like, man, I
Yeah,
can turn around, I can do whatever I want to do. I can. I'm like, once my way my mind and everything works, once I realize I'm dreaming, I'm waking
yeah,
up. I'm coming out. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right. And poof,
yeah,
and I'm out. It's like instant. Like as soon as I realize it, and the one of the fuse I did, like we were talking about last week, like the one I did, um, and I laid down in the dream and I went to sleep and I woke up here. That was the one that freaked me out the most. It was like, and I literally
right.
like, hey, I look, I gotta get a nap, and I was able to actually go through the whole dream and to the point of coming out. It was I never realized I was in a dream. And then as soon as I laid down there, I closed my eyes woken up here and I looked around like, and normally it takes me a second to wake up a little bit, but it was like instant looking around like
Mm,
I was, I was like, what in the world? But
yeah,
I've never been able to go like control it, move stuff, do different things, go see different things. I know people talk about that stuff. I've um I've listened, done hemi sync and listened to I've had some lucid wild dreams, but like I said, I've never been able to control them or anything like that. Once I realize that I'm dreaming, I'm coming out. It's nope. I guess it's my self defense mode. I guess it's like I'm
yeah.
not where I'm supposed to be. Like every time, it's just boop.
I I only have control when it's like an out of body experience, and if I'm aware of it. I know I've heard people say, and I don't doubt this happens too. That not everyone remembers all of their out of body experiences, but the ones I remember, I had control. But other than that, regular dreams, even lucid one, like it's really somewhat realistic ones. I've only had like once or twice ever where I was able to manipulate anything, and and once, and it's funny because I the one time it happened, I got as soon as I got really excited about it, that's when it ended for me, and
Hmm.
because it was it's funny because I was in one of my old apartments, my last apartment, and I was looking out onto the street, and the building I was in looked the same way it did before, but there was a different building across the street that had never been there, that as far as I knew. But down below me, I was on the second floor. In the parking lot, there was this. It was like a video game monster kind of thing, like it just just a bipedal monster kind of creature thing walking around the parking lot. And
Hmm.
at first, I was scared. I was like, "Oh, that's not good." But then I realized, "Oh wait, there's that doesn't look real." And that's when I started to realize that, and I realized I'm dreaming. And so I actually, funny, it sounds almost like Stranger Things now in a way. I looked down at at this thing, and put out a hand like through the window. There was no window, there was no glass, and I don't know, this weird light came out of my hand, at like a force field, and I literally picked this thing up in like a force field spear kind of thing, and like kind of condensed it or crushed it until it was just I was holding this like creature inside this spear kind of thing. And as soon as I realized I had done that, I was like, wow, that's amazing. How did I? And then boom, awake. It's like, oh man, I wanted to experiment more, But that was it. I was done. So,
Hmm.
but that's extreme. That's been extremely rare for me.
Yeah, I see. I see. Quantum says uh, they do the same thing I do. As soon as they realize that um, where they try to take control, it poof, they wake up. And I seen. Thank you, Miss Karen, for the link there. She dropped a link in the Rumble chat on that show. Uh,
Oh, okay.
I'll drop it. Um, I'll drop it
But
in the
yeah.
YouTube chat real quick because yeah, I remember seeing some of them shows a long time ago. And but it also said I seen let's see here it is. They say we can carry memory in our DNA and we can heal previous generations when we heal ourselves. So, but yeah, that's
Hmm.
that DNA. Uh, I can see that. It can. You know, it brings all of our past. To us. They. Our. If we're. Our heritage and stuff like that. Um, I see that's probable because it kind of maps out who we are, and if we're bringing all pieces of our ancestors and stuff like that. If we got like me, multiple different like you know you know races and generate everything.
Yeah.
Kind of melting. I know my family was melting pot for sure, but which is cool. Shout out my mom again. Hell, she's done our research always. Actually, done our research all the way back to like at least the 1500s.
Oh
She
wow.
used to go to the library and they had an archaeo. I was about to say ostrich. I will say the wrong words. Um, but they had a floor for that's all they know. Genealogy. I don't know why I want to
Okay.
say archaeological, but it's genealogy floor, and she used to sit there and get on the computer and search, and she's got a book probably. I don't know. Last time I seen it, it looked like it's like 6 inches thick of like pictures and everything, like printed out stuff and showing. So showing like from our Indian heritage, to our Cherokee and Scottish heritage, and Little English and several different Indian tribes, Blackfoot and all. She has it all written down in a book, so it's pretty neat. Um,
That is.
uh, but yeah, so I can see that statement right there is being true.
Yep. Yep.
Hiker said officially doing the activities our ancestors did can put us in a stronger communication with their intelligence too.
Okay.
I can see that, in her opinion. But yeah, I mean, if you're doing kind of like you're hitting muscle memory. You're doing the same thing that you're. I don't know.
Uh-oh.
Quantum says
What's...
not available in their country.
Oh.
VPN.
Yeah.
VPN. Switch it over to US. Well, you might be able to find it, the name and everything, on another, somewhere else too. Be able to find it. Just the Ghost Inside My Child series. It's the full documentary you can buy. I don't want to buy nothing.
Yeah. These days, no thank you.
Yeah, I use mine every once in a while. I use my VPN every once in a while on different stuff, but matters what I'm researching.
Right. Oh yeah.
Certain things I need to watch what I'm doing. Probably already on a list, so it is what it is.
All those lists. Now you done it, Ricky.
Yeah, I've been on that for a long time. That's real. They just go back and look at some of my old Facebook posts and stuff. I probably didn't get. I would have got banned if they hadn't took down a lot of the stuff before they started. Like, a lot of stuff got took down before they would give me points because there's a bunch of stuff missing. I can see comments, like I go on their history on Facebook, and it's like you see comments, you see that, and but there's nothing there. I'm like, what the hell was that? And some of the comments you kind of figure out what it is, but I'm like, what was there that was so bad that it got taken down? What was there so bad? And yeah, it was especially 15, 13. Yeah, I was saying a lot of the same stuff I say now, but yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
I was just very vocal on Facebook. I'm not as vocal on Facebook anymore. I'm just vocal on here.
There you go. Good place to do it.
Which I don't. Yeah, that's it. I'm just vocal on here.
Yep. But I think I'm all out of current stuff anyway, at least that I can think of. But
yeah, I said we're getting pushing on 3 hours, James. We can. I know you said you've been running, so I ain't gonna keep you up till 2 in the morning.
That was a lot of fun. And,
yeah, last
I'm glad
week
we
was
did it, but
for sure. But I always say any shout outs or anything you wanna last words, as they say.
well, just thank you everyone for being here. For those that don't know me, from either Ricky's shows or from Trouble Minds, but I do a podcast. It's called Salsido Paranormal. I find posts about people's experiences online, and I share them on my shows, and we cover other things as well. And yeah, just do that. Usually, I record 4 nights a week on my Discord server. If you want to find all that and everything else I do, you can go to my website, which is salsidoparanormal.com. It's SALSIDO paranormal.com. You can find all my shows there, all my episodes, and yeah, links to everything else. Substack, which is like a blog kind of thing. I put my shows there, but also starting up a new series of posts there soon, written posts, basically from the archives of all the experiences I found and shared over the years. featuring those. And yeah, so just always happy to read or hear new posts from people, accounts from people about their experiences, and share them with everyone. So, and yeah, you can, like I said, find all my episodes on my podcast page and links to my Discord, which is where I do all my recording. And you can listen in live there when I record in my Discord. That's the only place I stream because it's just technology wise, it's the easiest thing to do for me. And so, but long as you don't mind getting into Discord, it takes a little while to get used to, but once you do, you're all set. I really enjoy the program a lot, and yeah. So and you can find links to books I've written and everything else on the website. And my show will be starting up again this coming week here. So I took a week off because of the holidays and everything, but I'm excited to get back to it as of tomorrow night as we record this. So you are welcome to check it out and join me over there and listen in live on Discord.
No, for sure, for sure. I mean, it's um, yeah, y'all check out his books and check out his Discord and check out his show for sure. There's some great stories and yeah, check out the links in the description too. I know Sweets is dropping the link. If you forget later on and I forgot to click on that, whatever. It's his website's in the description. Check out the other links in the description. We got the Trouble Minds Radio Network in there. Um, we had the sponsors of the shows in there. Just plus, of course, my merch store. James got a merch store. Make sure y'all check it out. If I can get a shirt too, that helps out. Um,
Oh yes.
we're just here and um, adding more and more. I had fun doing the shirts. I had like figuring out different things. We did the. Um, I guess I'll pull that up real quick while we're talking. I
Yeah,
appreciate y'all as always
you
coming up
do
here.
amazing work with your shirts. That's a lot of. I'm very lucky. I had Sweets help me out with mine. A couple of
Oh,
mine,
for sure.
a few of mine there.
Sweet's a lifesaver for sure.
She is.
Get out of here, cookies. I don't want no cookies.
Uh,
Um, I got the new shirt that just come out. Trust me, I'm a conspiratologist. And now I just got it as a conspiratologist. Close to the same design, little tweak to it. Fear the Clanker
I love
shirt. I just had that. Still more believable. I got the Bigfoot riding Nessie with a UFO in the background. And of course we got Dr. Prepper talking with conspiracy, anything that possible shirts. I got aprons, if you want a yard flag, sling
that. That's
bag,
wild.
whatever else you want to do. That's some cool shirts. I got the Memphis Blues and Barbecue and Domestic Violence shirt. Coffee mug, like of course hats. So check it out. We got fun stuff right there. So we're growing. I got lots of new guests showing up throughout the next couple weeks for sure. We got a Bigfoot expert coming on. Let me look. I don't want to lie to y'all, but I forget.
Scheduling is hard.
Yeah, I had to make me a schedule, which worked out pretty good. I made a schedule so they could go in there. I could send a link, and you can pick on different times and stuff like that. So, let's see. Oh, wrong month. Next Sunday we'll have Ray of Radical Truth going to be on the show, talking. Who knows? Bigfoot, Swamp Thing, whatever pops up. Again, staying away from politics on Sundays. We're going to leave that for Wednesday shows best we can. We're going to try to do Tuesday the 30th is my goal. I'm going to try to record because New Year's Eve. I'm not trying to record New Year's Eve. So my goal is Tuesday night. We'll have Talking with Conspiracy. We'll see if I can get Jamie and Dave. We'll come in, do a year end. Um, Try to have fun with that. I got a bunch of stuff saved already for talking all the crazy stuff going on in the world. I got, what is this? What is this? There we go. That's the 7th, January 7th. We got Bigfoot. January 14th, we got Scott Helmer coming on, and we got more. We got several more coming up. I got other. We just haven't got the book exact time, so I got more people want to come talk conspiracy. Tell paranormal experiences and stuff like that. I got a couple want to do that. It's gonna be after the first. It's gonna be next month or so. So they're coming. So it's good times, good fun. As always, like I said, I appreciate y'all for being here. And Karen found the server. Like I said, like James said, Discord is fun. I mean, you hear horror stories about Discord. Just don't join the wrong groups, I guess you say. Join our groups. We're good. Trouble Minds, lots of cool stuff, lots of cool memes and stuff like that, lots of cool subjects we talk about. I post the same stuff on mine and several others. And then James has his own Discord, and so check it out. I'm gonna do my little rambling part at the end of the show. Again, like I said, I appreciate all y'all for being here. As always, it's a pleasure. Quantum, Alchemist, I appreciate you being here and adding to the discussion. Mr. Duffy, as grumpy as Mr. Duffy is sometimes, I appreciate him. Mr. Duffy's Mr. Duffy. Gordo shows up at the end, James.
Well, glad everyone could make it whenever they could, because I know everyone has.
Now you just had to hit the back button and listen now.
There you go.
All the fun stuff we talked about. Better late than never. Absolutely. I appreciate you being here and wanting to be here. That's the big thing. Like I said, big thing. I appreciate y'all could be doing a million other things other than sitting here listening to me and James talk. And we appreciate y'all being here no matter what time you get here. Early, late, whatever. Hiker and Sweets, I appreciate y'all. Miss Karen Carpenter. Yes. Check out Nights of the Storm every Saturday at 1 Central Time. Her and Ashley and Jason always have a great show. This last week they had Angry Tiger on there. And so y'all check out them for sure. Like a lot of the people in here. Let me see what else we got going on chat-wise. Make sure I shout everybody. I know Herschel was here earlier. I don't know if he's just lurking. Of course. Ray Radical Truth on the Rumble. Puff was here, but he went out to party. Appreciate him showing up. We got tomorrow. I know Indy has her show. Independent United. I'm sure she'll have a show tomorrow with half music, half politics. So they'll do karaoke, or just have people have recordings of them singing, and they'll drop that in. So it's pretty cool. On the YouTube and the Rumble for her. Algorithm on Tuesdays after my show. We'll probably raid him like we did this last week. And lots of cool shit, lots of cool people. Let's see. Let me make sure I'm not forgetting nobody on the YouTube chat. Oh, I know I'm forgetting. I know there was.
No, Dawn was here.
Yeah, Dawn was here. Appreciate Dawn for listening. I'm sure she's lurking in the background. Mr. Infinite Finality. I think that was a first timer. Appreciate you if you're still here lurking. Appreciate the lurkers, as always. And yeah, much love, Gordo. Appreciate y'all. And as always, y'all keep on keeping on. Let's hit this music and we'll get out of here. Let me find the music. Oop, I forgot to hide this. Well, it don't matter. Oop.
Don't want no shackles. Don't want no shackles on me. Don't want no shackles. Don't want no shackles on me. I sat down with Big Brother. Don't like those RFIDs. Got the blues about my freedom. Got the blues about tyranny. I got the blues about my freedom. Got the blues about tyranny. I sat down with Big Brother and the national ID. Don't want a chip in my wallet, chip in my car. And if I want to travel, it's nobody's business how far. Don't want no shackles. Don't want no shackles on me. I said shame on Big Brother, always tracking and tracing me. Don't want a chip in my mother, chip in my wife, a chip in my babies. Stay out of our life. Don't want no shackles. Don't want no shackles on me. I sat down with Big Brother, no more slavery. Play it for me, baby. Now, do you want a chip in your forehead, a chip in your arm, always tweaking your brain and causing you harm? Don't want no shackles. Don't want no shackles on me. I sat down with Big Brother in the good old USA. I sat down with Big Brother, down with Big Brother, down with Big Brother, down with Big Brother, down with Big Brother. Don't want a spy chip in me. Everybody, I sat down with Big Brother, down with Big Brother, down with Big Brother, down with Big Brother, down with Big Brother. It's all about liberty.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.